Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to today's ceremony where 13 documents will be exchanged and there will be one announcement. The first MOU is an agreement on comprehensive strategic partnership between India and the UAE. This will be exchanged on the UAE side by His Highness Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, and on the Indian side by Shri Manohar Parrikar, Minister of Defence. May I request the two dignitaries to please come forward. Excellencies, the second MOU is on technology development and cooperation in cyberspace between the National Security Council Secretariat of India and the National Electronic Security Authority of the UAE. This will be exchanged on the UAE by His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Deputy National Security Advisor and Chairman of the State Security Department, and on the Indian side by Shri Manohar Parrikar, Minister of Defence. The third MOU is on cooperation in the field of defense industry between the defense ministries of the two countries, to be exchanged on the UAE side by His Excellency Mohammad Ahmad Al Bawardi, Minister of State for Defense Affairs, and on the Indian side by Shri Manohar Parrikar, Minister of Defense. The fourth MOU is on institutional cooperation on maritime transport. This will be exchanged on the UAE side by His Excellency Dr. Anwar Gargash, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs and Minister of State for Federal National Council Affairs, and on the Indian side by Shri Nitin Gadkari, Minister of Road Transport and Highways. The fifth MOU is between the Directorate General of Shipping of India and the Federal Transport Authority, Land and Maritime of the UAE on mutual recognition of certificates of competency as per the provisions of the Standards of Training, Certification and Watchkeeping Convention, and amendments thereof will be exchanged on the UAE side by His Excellency Dr. Anwar Gargash, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs and Minister of State for Federal National Council Affairs, and on the Indian side by Shri Nitin Gadkari, Minister of Road Transport and Highways. We will have the same signatories to exchange. This is the sixth MOU between the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways of India and the Federal Transport Authority, Land and Maritime of the UAE on bilateral cooperation in road transport and highway sector. Thank you, sir. The seventh MOU is between the Government of India and the Government of UAE on cooperation in prevention and combating of human trafficking, to be exchanged by His Excellency Dr. Anwar Gargash, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs and Minister of State for Federal National Council Affairs, and on the Indian side by Shri M.J. Akbar, Minister of State for External Affairs. The eighth MOU will also be exchanged by the same personalities. This is the MOU between the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare of India and the Ministry of Climate Change and Environment of the UAE in agriculture and allied sectors. The ninth MOU will also be exchanged by the same dignitaries. This is MOU on mutual exemption of entry visa requirements to the holders of diplomatic, special and official passports. Excellencies, the 10th MOU is between the Ministry of Commerce and Industry of India and the Ministry of Economy of the UAE on trade remedial measures to promote cooperation in areas of mutual interest, to be exchanged by the Minister of Economy of UAE, His Excellency Sultan Al Mansouri, and on the Indian side by Srimati Nirmala Sitaram, Minister of State of Commerce and Industry. The 11th MOU will also be exchanged by the same dignitaries. This is MOU for cooperation in the field of small and medium enterprises and innovation. The 12th MOU is between Prasar Bharati of India and the Emirates News Agency for cooperation in program exchange, to be exchanged by His Excellency Dr. Sultan Al Jaber, Minister of State, and on the Indian side by Shri M.J. Akbar, Minister of State for External Affairs. Finally, the agreement on oil storage and management between Indian Strategic Petroleum Reserves Limited and the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, to be exchanged on the UAE side by His Excellency Dr. Sultan Al Jaber, Minister of State, and on the Indian side by Shri Dharmendra Pradhan, Minister of State for Petroleum and Natural Gas. In addition, Excellencies, an MOU has been signed on the sidelines between the National Productivity Council and Al Ittihad Energy Service Company LLC on cooperation in energy efficiency services. Excellencies, this concludes the exchange of agreement ceremony. I now request my colleague, the spokesperson of the Foreign Ministry, to take over.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we will now have press statements by the two leaders. May I first invite the Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, to deliver his press remarks.
Your Highness, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, friends from the media, it gives me great pleasure to welcome to India a dear friend, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. We are delighted that His Highness has come back to India on its second state visit. And with his participation as our honored chief guest in the Republic Day celebrations tomorrow, this visit is particularly special. Your Highness, I warmly recall our earlier meetings in August 2015 and in February last year. Our discussions were wide-ranging, covering the entire spectrum of our bilateral engagement. Personally, I benefited immensely from your perspective of our partnership, your appreciation of our region, and your world view. Your Highness, under your leadership, we have been successful in creating new synergies in our ties. We have shaped an ambitious roadmap of engagement to make our comprehensive strategic partnership purposeful and action-oriented. The agreement that was exchanged just now has institutionalized the understanding. Friends, UAE is one of our most valued partners and a close friend in an important region of the world. I have just concluded very fruitful and productive discussions with His Highness. We particularly focus on implementation of various decisions taken during our last two meetings. We agreed to sustain the momentum of our relations in key areas, including energy and investments. Friends, we regard UAE as an important partner in India's growth story. I particularly welcome UAE's interest in investing in India's infrastructure sector. We are working to connect the institutional investors in UAE with our National Investment and Infrastructure Fund. I also shared with His Highness the interest of Indian companies to be a partner in infrastructure projects for the World Expo 2020 in Dubai. UAE can benefit by linking with our growth in manufacturing and services. We can jointly tap abundant opportunities in our initiatives aimed at building digital economy, human capital, and smart urbanization in India. We are also encouraging and facilitating business and industry of both countries to increase the quality and quantum of bilateral trade. The agreement of trade remains signed today would strengthen our trade partnership further. Our energy partnership is an important bridge in our linkages. It contributes to our energy security. His Highness and I discuss ways to transform our energy ties in a strategic direction through specific projects and proposals. In this regard, long-term supply contracts and establishment of joint ventures in the energy sector can be beneficial avenues. Friends, security and defense cooperation have added growing new dimensions to our relationship. We have agreed to expand our useful cooperation in the field of defense to new areas, including in the maritime domain. The MOU on defense cooperation signed earlier today will help steer our defense engagements in the right direction. We also feel that our growing engagement in countering violence and extremism is necessary for securing our societies. Friends, His Highness and I believe that our closer ties are of importance not just to both our countries. They are also of significance to the entire neighborhood. Our convergence can help stabilize the region, and our economic partnership can be a source of regional and global prosperity. We exchange views on developments in West Asia and the Gulf, where both countries have a shared interest in peace and stability. We also discuss developments in our region, including Afghanistan. Our shared concern on growing threat from radicalism and terrorism to the safety and security of our people is shaping our cooperation in this space. Friends, UAE is home to around 2.6 million Indians. Their contributions are deeply valued both in India and UAE. I express gratitude to His Highness for looking after the welfare of Indian nationals in UAE. I also thank His Highness for allotting land for a temple for the Indian diaspora in Abu Dhabi. Friends, the success of our partnership owes greatly to the personal interest taken by His Highness Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of UAE, and His Highness Sheikh Mohammed. Moving forward, our cooperation stands poised for a major takeoff. I am confident, Your Highness, that your visit will build on the strong gains and understanding of our previous interactions and shape its future framework marked by depth, drive, and diversification of our partnership. In closing, I would like to thank His Highness for accepting my invitation to visit India. I wish him and all the delegation members a very pleasant stay in India. Thank you. Thank you very much.
May I now invite His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, to deliver his press remarks.
السلام عليكم. صديقي دولة رئيس الوزراء جمهورية الهند الصديقة، الحضور الكرام، أنتهز هذه الفرصة لأجدد التعبير عن سعادتي بزيارة جمهورية الهند، خاصة وأنها تأتي في هذه الأيام التي نشارك فيها الشعب الهندي الصديق احتفالاته بيوم الجمهورية. لا شك أننا اليوم نعيش لحظات تاريخية مهمة في العلاقات بين بلدينا، حيث تفتح اتفاقيات الشراكة الاستراتيجية وجملة الاتفاقيات الأخرى الموقعة اليوم أفقاً رحبة وغير مسبوقة للتعاون والترابط والعمل المشترك، وتمثل نقلة نوعية كبرى في حاضر هذه العلاقات ومستقبلها. دولة رئيس وزراء جمهورية الهند الصديقة، الحضور الكرام، إن دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة بقيادة سيدي صاحب السمو الشيخ خليفة بن زايد آل نهيان رئيس الدولة حفظه الله، ترى في تطوير علاقتنا الثنائية على صعيد الاستراتيجي مكسباً مشتركاً ومهماً. وأنا على ثقة تامة بأن العلاقات الإماراتية الهندية سوف تشهد تحولات إيجابية كبرى خلال السنوات القادمة بفضل اتفاقيات الشراكة الاستراتيجية، ولعل ما يعزز هذه الثقة ويقويها ما لمسته خلال لقاءاتي مع المسؤولين في الجمهورية، وعلى رأسهم رئيس الوزراء الصديق معالي ناريندرا مودي، من حرص كبير على تعزيز العلاقات مع دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة وتقدير لتجربتها التنموية والإنسانية الرائدة، وتصميم على جعل هذه الاتفاقيات الجسر الذي تعبر عليه علاقاتنا نحو مستقبل المشرق بإذن الله. شكراً سيدي.
I thank the two leaders for their statements. This concludes the joint press briefing. Thank you all.